Today we're going to talk about upgrading an iMac. A lot of people think that an iMac is impossible to upgrade, but it's actually not as hard as you'd think. And today I'm going to show you how. And what's nice about me showing you as opposed to going to the company websites that do this is I've never done it before. And so I'm going to be just like you doing this for the first time. I have read about it and I've watched other YouTube videos about it, and I purchased my stuff from the right company, so I know I'm equipped properly, but I'm still just a regular person, just like most of you probably are. So watching me do it is going to take that first time experience and give it to you. So first let's start with understanding what computer I have. So behind me, this is an iMac 27-inch. Its engineering date, it's considered a late 2013. That's important to know when you're looking up your upgrades. You can find out the exact model of your computer if you don't remember by doing the following. What you do is you take your mouse and you go up to the Apple menu and you drag down to About This Mac. And right here, it'll tell you what you need to know about your computer. And if you need to know more than that, hit System Report. And up here in hardware, you want to make sure that you can get to this. In hardware overview, so choosing the first one, it gives the exact model. So model identifier iMac 14-2. And if you talk to somebody on the phone, they might want this number instead of just the late 2013 or whatever yours is. I bought my upgrades from Otherworld Computing, also known as macsales.com. I purchased this 4 terabyte Toshiba drive. I just liked it because it had a 5-year warranty. And storage has gotten so cheap. $115 for 4 terabytes. Is incomprehensible. I've been involved, in computers on a large scale, since 1988 or so, and it's hard for me to see a price like that and not think, oh my God, what a bargain. So if you buy the new hard drive, you're going to need an installation kit. Mac Sales, Otherworld Computing, sells this installation kit, and what you need this for is to get the screen off, and you also need this adapter. This adapter has got to do with making your thermostat and the cooling mechanisms of your iMac continue to work correctly. I don't know too much more than that, but you definitely need it. These are suction cups, and you need those to help pull the screen off. This is a cutting wheel, and what will happen is there's a groove that goes around the screen of your iMac on the outside, and you use this cutting wheel to cut the adhesive, and you go back and forth and cut all the adhesive, and that's how the screen is going to come loose. These are just various little tools and screwdrivers that you'll need to get stuff loose on the inside. And then these things, this is the replacement adhesive strips that they include in the kit. So after you get the screen off and after you get the new hard drive installed, you detail the inside of the case and get the rest of the old adhesive off, and then you put these new strips on. So they sell this kit that includes everything you need. It's $49.50. Seems like kind of a bargain to me, especially when you consider how cheap the hard drive is. But if you want to upgrade yourself, you need to get one of these kits. Since I'm going to a 4 terabyte hard drive from a 1 terabyte hard drive, I wanted to get a backup solution. So I use the included software with my Mac, Time Machine, and an external hard drive. So for this operation, because I was going to a 4 gig internal drive, I went ahead and also bought this external 8 terabyte drive. I also got this from Otherworld Computing, Mac sales. It uses the USB 3 port on the back of my iMac. It's got a lot of different ports that it makes it backward compatible with older Macintoshes. So that's kind of an advantage of this drive. In retrospect, this drive might be overkill because it was kind of expensive, and I'm not sure I needed a drive that was this expensive. They sell other drives. I mean, there are other drives available, like I was tempted to buy this drive from Costco, and that drive also had USB ports on it, so it acted as a USB hub, and this one does not, so I'm regretting that a little bit. But anyway, I bought this one. It took about 5 hours for it to transfer all the data from my 1 terabyte drive and make a new backup onto this new drive. And that way, when I install the new hard drive in the iMac, I can use Time Machine to reset up my computer and just have a mirror of my old computer. I also did this because I already had an old external drive, and it was 2 terabytes, and it also has a disk image or a backup of my iMac, and so this way I am double protected. So I took off my old one and I set it aside, and I made an additional backup with this new one. So hopefully I am double safe and protected from mayhem. I've got my iMac unplugged, and I have moved it to a soft, static-free environment. I've got a little table out here, and I've put a towel on it to be soft. These are the tools we're going to need to get the iMac apart. These are some of the items I bought from Otherworld Computing Mac sales. This is the little cutting knife, and it's just a plastic knife with a plastic blade, kind of like a pizza cutter, and it's going to slip in around the edges on the iMac and separate the adhesive tape. This is a prying tool, which we might just need inside, and these are some screwdrivers. These are suction cups, which we're going to use on the screen to lift it away from the chassis. To use this cutter, what you do is you slip it between the chassis and the screen, and it's just a very thin blade, and it's not super easy to get it in there, but it'll get in there. And then you just want to roll it up and down, and you don't want to pry with it. The blade's real soft anyway, so it's not going to do a lot of prying. But the goal is to cut the adhesive, and the depth is basically the depth of the device. So I'm just going up and down, and I'm getting the device, deeper with every up and down, until I get all the adhesive cut. I set the camera up on a tripod so that I can push a little harder with this and hold on to the computer. But as you can see now, the blade is all the way in, so it's bottomed out. And you know, you're gonna have to go back and forth a couple times, that's for sure. And you know, you want to get in all the way around the corners. So I'm going back and forth. There's some bumps around the camera, and that's just because the adhesive is thinner there, so don't worry about that. Gonna move to the other side now. Dust is coming out where I've cut the adhesive, so that's a good sign. So like little pieces of the adhesive are coming out. It's going really easy now. It was hard to get started a little bit, but now that I've got it started, it's coming out really easy. I'm holding onto the screen a little bit because it really feels like it's loose now. I don't want it, and I don't want it to just fall out. It feels like the stuff is harder to get down at the bottom. So I'm going around it, up by these edges one more time. Okay, I think we're ready to lay the computer down now. I went ahead and flipped the computer around so that I would have an area behind it to place the screen when I take it off. What I'm going to do before I start is go ahead and ground myself and make sure I don't have any static electricity on me that might damage some of the electronics in there. In the old days, when I first started working on computers, when you bought little upgrade kits, they always came with wrist straps, grounding straps, so you were grounded all the time. They don't seem to do that anymore, and I don't know where my strap is. So what I'm going to do is just go touch a copper cold water pipe, because that goes straight to ground. So I'm gonna go reach under my sink and do that, and I'll be right back. I am back and I'm feeling grounded. At this point, we're ready to attach the suction cups. What you want to do to release the suction is pull down on that thing, and you know, that releases the suction. And we're going to attach it to the screen, push down a little, pull up on that thing, and it's attached. We're going to do the same thing with this one. Release here. Push it onto the screen. You got to give it a little pressure. Pull up on that. And our suction cups are now attached. Now we're ready to lift. The screen is still going to be attached at the bottom, so we'll have to deal with that once we have the screen up. So I am lifting. It's not quite coming loose, so what you do is you run around it some more with the release tool, and you definitely want to be careful. You don't want to yank too much and crack the screen. So I'm pulling a little bit, going around it with my cutter some more, and we are loose. So I'm pulling up carefully. Grab under there now. And there's a couple cables we have to release before I can take the screen off. So this first one over here just pulls loose. So you can just reach in there carefully and pull it loose. This other one, you have to pull up on this tab to release. So I've done that. And then you can pull the cable out. It came out really easy. Okay, now I can bend the screen up the rest of the way. And to release the bottom part of the screen, there's some little tabs and they're right there and right there. They're on each side of the screen. You start at the outside edge and you pull on that tab. And that releases the adhesive at the bottom. So now I got to do it on the other side. Hopefully you can see that. And now the screen is completely disconnected. So now I can carefully remove it and place it behind. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Being extra super careful with everything. And the screen is loose. And I've got it positioned behind the computer. The easiest way to get to the hard drive is to first remove this plastic speaker part right here. You remove that with the T10 Torx, which they include in the kit. So you just loosen these screws, well, these Torx screws. And then you just pick up the speaker housing and move it to the side. It just needs to be out of the way enough to get to these other Torx screws. Moving the speaker box over exposes these additional Torx screws, which you need to remove. The Torx driver included in the kit is magnetic, so that's handy. Once these are out, you just lift up on this housing and pull it out. And then there's a SATA cable right here. This comes out just by pulling backwards, and the drive is out. Now that the drive is out, we can take the housing off of the old drive. This part just slides off. When you take this off, it exposes more Torx 8 attachments. So go ahead and use your Torx. This iMac uses a SATA drive. Another upgrade you can do is you can use an SSD drive. And if you buy an SSD drive, you'd need to get an adapter that then fit inside this housing. I opted to get a regular SATA platter drive, mainly because I wanted a lot of storage. So I got a 4 gig one, and just price wise, it's better. I've actually had some bad luck with SSD drives. This is my new drive, so what we need to do is take those Torx 8 screws and move them from the old drive onto this new drive. So I'm going to do that. These little screws are just what helps the drive fit in the mounting structure. And then this just slides on here. It looks like that, and it'll fit right down in there. The next step is to attach the adapter cable. I got this cable with all my purchases from Mac sales. So it attaches to the new SATA drive right here. And then this is a heat sensor. And what you do with it is you attach it to the back of the drive on this metal part right here. And what this does is it sends temperature information to the computer so that it continues to cool properly. So that's the way everything should look. Before you put everything back together, make sure this cable is free. I just had to take everything apart and put it back. Well, I just had to take everything apart because this cable was still under here and it didn't have enough play to plug in here. So I just took everything apart and pulled this cable out here so that there'd be enough slack to plug it into here. Okay, now I'm finally ready to plug these two in together. Once these are plugged in, you just want to set them so they're a little bit out of the way. So I'm doing it like that. We're almost ready to put the iMac back together, but before we do that, we have to get all of this adhesive tape residue off. So I'm going to do that now. So once you get it started, a lot of it comes off fairly easy, but there's definitely little bits of residue and things, and you want to get it all off. You don't want any residue. So it could be a little tedious, this part. And now you have to do the same thing with the screen. You have to get all the leftover adhesive off of the screen. So let me do that. It's tedious, I'll speed it up. Now that I've got all the adhesive off, it's time to start thinking about putting the screen back on. The kit that I bought from Mac Sales comes with this selection of replacement adhesive tape and a guide on how they're placed. So the way this works is all these strips are numbered very carefully. Fortunately, they're all kind of smushed together. Let me see if I can get these apart. Kind of a pain how they have these all smushed together, but they're all numbered and they are coming apart. And what you do is, starting at the top corner clockwise, so in this case it would be over here, you go 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1/6, and then the bottom ones actually go on the glass. So one thing that they do not give you with this kit is an alignment tool. So let me go find something to align these up with, and I'll show you how to do that. So what I got are some little tiny nails. They are very tiny. And how this is going to work is there's alignment holes on these tapes. The bottom part is the part that's not numbered. So what you're supposed to do is grab these and pull. It's coming apart. That exposes the adhesive. So I'm putting my guide thing in there. Lining it up. And I'm putting it right there. And putting it right there. And then I push this down. Like that. Anyway, that worked pretty well. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now we go on to number 2. So this is 112. Well, I mean 1212. Anyway, that one goes right here. Okay, so we're going to start on the back. Pull this off. I'm going to get my alignment. So I pulled that off. I'm going to get my alignment and put it in right there. And then I'm going to pull off the other one. Got my alignment. So I'm going to stick it right there. And I'm going to stick So this is what's interesting about watching a regular guy do this, is it's not going nearly as smoothly as it does in the company videos. So you're getting to experience that. So if you're doing this the way I'm doing this, you're probably going to experience this in the same way. So now we need 1313, that's this one. When I was peeling off the residue adhesive, I was wondering about these things, and yeah, you do need to get all of the old tape off of those things. So I'm going to peel these back. I'm going to go ahead and peel these back. I'm going to get my alignment now. Got my other alignment nail in. What's weird about this tape is I don't feel like it's perfect. It's certainly close. And I'm sure a lot of the problems have to do with me and this being my first time. But anyway, it doesn't seem perfect. Okay, now I'm going to jump to the other side. I'm going to consult my diagram. So we're looking for 1616. One thing that helps you orient them is There's little rounded corners that kind of match up where the rounded corners on the iMac are. Okay, I'm gonna peel these back now. I'm gonna put this nail in the alignment hole. All right, so I'm already not really following the instructions because I'm not finding it real easy to use the alignment holes the way they show. I'm kind of just, I found, what I did is kind of use one alignment hole and then eyeball the rest of it. Like I said, this tape isn't, it feels like it's like a millimeter off here and there. It's not 100% perfect. But anyway, it's down nice and smooth and it's not out into the chassis area, so I think we're good. I'm ready to do the screen now. This is our reference. So this is strip number 15 and it goes like this. There's no reference holes on this side, so gotta be a little more careful. All right, finally got that. That was really difficult. So now, I'm just gonna pull it taut. Okay, now I have to get the other side. I'm going to lift this up from the cloth a little bit because it's got a little fuzz in the way. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull it taut.
This side. Press it into place.
All right, I think we're good. That was scary. Now we're ready to remove the backing in preparation for putting the screen back on. So just pull these tabs and remove the protective backing. And we have to do it on the screen side too. We are ready to put the screen in place. You want to start by laying the screen in the top part. Well, actually, laying the screen in the bottom part. But you don't want to lay it down because you still need to attach the video cables. So, I'm going to do something like this. So you want to get it in there, in the corner, and you want to get it as aligned as you can. You tilt it down a little bit until you can get to the cables. So we're going to start with this flat one. Press it into place, and then you lift it over and lock it in. And then you go to this flat cable. You push it into place, and then you press it into its channel. And now we are ready to carefully lower the screen into place. You can use the suction cups. So before I push it, I'm making sure everything's aligned. Once you have everything in place, you're going to go around and push and press and set the adhesive tape. Once you've done that, you can pop off the suction cups. I have everything plugged in. So my goal is to restore my computer using this drive that I'm using as a time machine backup drive. So what is supposed to happen is that I start the computer and then hold down Control R, and then it should reboot into recovery mode. So let's see if that works. I'm not actually familiar with this startup screen that shows the spinning Earth. I'm hoping that's a good thing. My computer is booted up and I've got this now. Since I've got a new hard drive, I'm assuming I'm going to have to format it. So I'm going to hit this. And there is my hard drive. It's saying unformatted, so let's get it formatted. I'm old school. We're just going to call it Macintosh HD. We're going to restore from Time Machine. Hit continue. Here's the latest one. Okay, here we go. The backup took like 5 hours to make, so okay, I don't like that. So let's restart. Okay, when I restarted it, everything behaved well. I just went into Time Machine and proceeded normally, and it looks like it's doing it. So now I probably just have to wait 5 hours. We'll see. My Time Machine backup has restored my machine completely back to normal. So all the information on my 1 terabyte drive is now on my 4 terabyte drive. The computer itself, it's just eerily the same. So when it finally started back up, the same windows were open and everything. So it was a really successful operation. So I'm completely satisfied. There were some scary moments, but everything is working perfectly. So that is it for this video. I hope your projects go well. Thanks for watching.